Now, the mother of that 9-month-old baby who is in hospital receiving surgery, her last act as a mother was handing her baby to someone, saving their life, and the mother has died as a result, Candice.
It's evil. I mean, what sort of person stabs a mother with her baby? I mean, we don't know what the motivations for it were, but I mean, what sort of mindset does that? I cannot imagine how desperate she must have been in those last few moments. I mean, it's horrible.
It's unbelievable. I've never really been close to crying on TV, and I'm trying to compose myself. I'm lost for words. Lost for words.
Terrible.
Terrible.
It did, as I said to Chris, I happened to be working in 2017 at the Sun newspaper when the London Bridge terror attack was taking place. I went down to get a sandwich and I somehow found myself amongst it all. And just seeing this brings chills down my spine, imagining the terror that these people are going through. We heard eyewitness accounts speaking to ABC News Australia from, I think it was a woman who was working in a nearby salon. She said, we had elderly women coming into the salon who were in Westfield. They were traumatised. We had to sit them down because they were running. They weren't fit enough to run fast enough. Other people, they'd seen things that had happened in Tommy Hilfiger where they were seeing stabs. It was absolutely horrific. Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister, of course, describing earlier, and if there is one slither of positivity from this awful news, it's the heroics and the courageous actions, Olivia, of that female police officer.
Absolutely, just incredible. She was on her own, going in and shooting dead that attacker, and it's said by eyewitnesses on the ground that if she hadn't stepped in at the moment that she did, then this tragedy could have been even worse than it was. So it's just incredible to think about what she did there.
Those people are incredible. I mean, you mentioned the London Bridge attacks. I mean, I remember a police officer just trying to fend off people with a baton. That's all he had. I mean, this is just, I mean, it's an animal response. I mean, you just have an animal response in those moments. The trauma, though, is long-lasting. I mean, there are so many families now who have lost someone. They just stepped out to have the most ordinary day imaginable, and this is the sort of news they're going to be getting. It's just horrific.
And I think that's the thing as well. I mean, there's the people who've actually been attacked and their families, their friends, everyone in their social circle, but also we hear reports that hundreds of people were having to flee the scene, and those people will have those memories for the rest of their lives.
I thank God for bravery. You know, I remember with the Borough Market attacks, and there was like a football supporter saying, this is Millwall, you know, standing at a bar, and, you know, in any other occasion you say, oh, he's a football hooligan, but whatever, you know, that's what people would have said. But people like that end up saving lives. You know, this fight or flight thing is a really real thing, and I know it's not for all of us to stand and fight, but I just thank God that there are just brave people who would run towards it and they don't think about it. And like you said, it's quite animalistic. You don't think about it. You see it and you just jump in, and you end up saving many. So
I've sat many a time in incidents like this saying, yeah, of course, you've got to get involved and you've got to help. You know, of course you have. But when you're in the moment, as I was in London Bridge, when you're in the moment, I ran. I was terrified. Everyone likes to play the big man, but it takes very courageous
people to
get involved. A lone female police officer.
Wow.
Crazy. So just as an update, unfortunately, we just heard from Chris O'Keefe from 2GB Radio in Sydney that the 9-month-old baby who was stabbed and is currently receiving surgery in hospital, the mother, her last heroic act as a mother was to give her baby to somebody else, get it to safety and stop its injuries.